little overwhelming, isn't it? I don't think I can fit that much drag in my pussy anymore. Drag capacity. My name is Alec Mappa. I am your host of the Comedy Queen I'm not a drag queen myself, but I have played one on television and movies. I was one of the stars of the Universal Studios drag queen fiasco called Connie and Carla. Thank you so much for that scattering of applause. Let's get this shit started, alright? Let's do it. You ready? Yeah. 15 minutes. Our first drag queen is really the most important drag queen in the history of drag. She has been entertaining audiences all over the world, globally, for more than 25 years. You have seen her videos on YouTube. You have seen her work as a writer. She's written for Joan Crawford. I almost said Joan Crawford. She wrote for Joan Crawford, actually. Whatever happened to Baby Jane, that was her writing. Joan was on Fashion Police. She was the head writer for Ross Matthews on Hello Ross. Please welcome to the stage the legendary Jackie B. Got it?
Yeah, I'm on stage right now. Where do I sit?
Sit anywhere you want, lady.
Next to you,
okay.
if I'm not racist.
It's true. I'm in charge. Asian driver, no survivor.
I'd also like to point out that he is standing up right now.
I might remain standing for the whole fucking word. Look, so finally some nice lighting for the drag queens. The whole convention center is like lit like an operating theater. It's the most unflattering light. Like, can I have a picture? No, kind of. Alright. I want to bring up... Oh, she is the creator, the producer, and the host of Tranny Shack. That's offensive. Is anything triggered? Relax. I have to say that. She is also the co-producer and co-star of the Velvet Rage production. When you see the shows in San Francisco Live, they're absolutely incredible. She's the co-owner of Oasis. Boy, she has fingers and many eyes. She's paying for my Uber ride home. Yeah. Will you please welcome to the stage, Heklina! Take your time.
You people are standing. Wow, the bar is low.
Wait, Jackie, you said that, what did Heklina's wig look like?
Oh, yeah, if you, there's a monster on that Bugs Bunny,
Nobody's as old as you, Jackie. No one's gonna get the reference. Jackie, you must be losing it. You didn't look at this hot cameraman who was, he was trying to get all of you in frame, but look at him, he's hot. Hi, sweetie, what's your name? I'm gonna suck his dick after this.
We'll move it along then. Our next panelist is an underground superstar, MC, filmmaker, actress, and certified cult leader. She currently resides in San Francisco, where her show, her production company, and Midnight Mass movie series are based. She is the writer and director of the feature film All About Evil, starring Natasha Lyonne, Thomas Dekker, Mitch Gold, and Hannah Peterson. Please welcome our Lord and Savior, Peaches Christ.
Thrilled to be here, next to her again.
everyone wants to be next to Heklina.
It doesn't make
She's
you
so young and pretty.
This is coming from her, Jesus Christ.
Alright, our next panelist resides both in San Francisco and Beverly Hills, has become well known for her acerbic, I can't read, public school, easy, alright. Non-apologetic, straightforward humor. She will say exactly what is on her mind and will say what everyone is thinking. She must be a drag queen of some kind.
Her shtick is that she's rich and pretty. It's really hilarious.
Pretty, but she's more than just a pretty face. She is the creator and founder of the Drag Queens of Comedy, the world's largest and most successful drag comedy festival.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay. Commercials, music videos. She's a fixture in the Castro Theater and can be seen as her voice in productions. This is a really long
You were in the show last night.
She has the distinction of looking just as fuckable in and out of drag. Please welcome to the panel, Sasha Soprano!
Just as fuckable in and out of drag is not something you can say about yourself. That is just sad.
Sasha Soprano, ladies
Did you write that yourself? A little bit conceited.
No, I think Lawrence Hellman did.
Alright, and our final panelist has the distinction of being Season 8's breakout star! Let's make all this in the rain!
It's just a fucking TV show, people.
That's the kind of applause you would get if you were on basic cable.
It was just basic.
I love they were like, Jackie B's written for Joan Rivers. They've been performing for Laser. She's a producer. Bob was on a TV show. Like Bob.
But you're the breakout star.
You're the breakout star.
I prefer the term blackout star, but I'll take breakout.
Hopefully she'll win and she can buy more expensive makeup and stop breaking out.
Alright, so you all had a show last night at the Ace Hotel. How'd it go? Go.
I've still not been paid.
That's true.
I had to take a pedicab here.
But it went okay. It went pretty well. How many people were there last night? Wow, 5 people. That's great.
I think the show is so great because you know there's something for everyone. You know, if you like, you know, monster drag,
Bugs Bunny,
ironic,
Old.
fucking really funny, like genius. You know, new school, like you know, borderline amusing, been on a TV show. Uses unsweetened Hershey's cocoa powder as base. You know. For everyone.
That's why I'm so sweet.
Sasha, and the Drag Queens of Comedy show, which one was this in the series it's been? How long has it been running?
Let's see, this is the 4th year. So
4th year.
time in
Congratulations. Now, how did you come up with the idea to get all these drag monsters in one stage?
I have a lot of time on my hands and a lot of money. But I would watch Wigstock all the time in college. And that
So you saw what not to do.
But I would go to Tranny Shack, the pageants, which Heklina would produce and do. And I just said to myself, you know, going to that and Peaches Christ Midnight Math, that is basically the status level that I wanted to get to. Doing something like, you know, at a bar, you know, getting paid $12.50 a number.
And drink tickets, bitch.
Yeah. Honestly, who here has done drag? And when you start going, there's like 5 of you. But you know, when you start going into do drag shows, they don't pay you that much. And I was like, you know, it just seems repetitive that you're gonna keep doing this and getting, you know, $25 at Tranny Shack and just keep going and doing this. So I wanted to be the person to pay them $25.
Just for roast all the
But it basically is, I just wanted to get it to a level of a Broadway style show for comedy, and that's basically what we have done and accomplished, so.
Circa, what are we talking about here in San Francisco?
I started Tranny Shack in 1996.
Yes. All right. Can you speak to us kind of like what the drag scene was like? And this is a question for you.
Wait, can you speak to us like a lady?
Can you speak to us like a lady?
1996.
Back in 1996, there's a cave painting of it at the Museum of Natural History. Speak to us briefly about what the drag scene was like 20 years ago compared to what it is today. Because this is kind of inconceivable 20 years ago. Can you imagine?
Well, there was no makeup tutorials on YouTube. There was no cell phones. I mean, I looked up to my elders and I used them as kind of like I wanted to like aspire to be like that.
Sasquatch and Poochie over here.
Oh my God, are we talking? Come on, we gotta see her fupa when she gets up. But anyway.
It's all padding. I go for realism. Tell us what it was like.
We got a moose knuckle going on down there. You were there, Jackie.
Oh, yes.
Well, can I speak now?
It's been a fascinating answer.
Turn her mic. I've been trying to answer. This bitch won't shut up. All right, so, well, it was a time, well, I did really look up to the New York Queens and aspire to that rock and roll. You know what? Seriously, I'm going to answer this question, I swear to God. People had to form their own identities, and it was kind of like a rock and roll scene. Oh, I mean, when you talk about drag, the drag scene, you're really talking about San Francisco and New York. That's like kind of where it was all happening. And Tranny Shack started as a response to a lot of the clubs that influenced me when I moved to San Francisco. A lot of the people had, this is going to really bring people down, but...
It's all right, it's reality.
a lot of the people who influenced me when I moved to San Francisco had passed away. When I started Tranny Shack, it was kind of a time of celebration. And I remember nightlife was different back then. People went out on a fucking Tuesday night at midnight. When I started Tranny Shack, I was like, there's nothing wrong. To me, it made perfect sense to start a nightclub where the show started at midnight on a Tuesday. Now fags don't go out.
No.
People went out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The weekends were for amateurs.
It's like they'll look at the Tranny Shack app and they'll like it, but that's it. Right? It's like nobody, it's like the nightlife is kind of...
Well, people don't want to go out unless they can check it out before, and they want to know exactly what they're going to, whereas before, you had to kind of discover and see for yourself what nightlife was all about and create. Well, now, everybody wants it totally packaged and predictable.
Right.
But also, people, I find that a lot of young people don't like to pay for anything, and I'm not reading young people, I just find them very annoying and fucking retarded. Before you freak out, I do have the paperwork in my purse to prove that I can use that word. No, I'm just saying that, like, people, it's all like free porn, free music, and it's like,
That's the other thing that killed nightlife was Grindr and all that stuff. There's no reason, 90% of the reason why gays go out is to get dick, am I right? Or they used to. But now you can just order in, there's no reason to go out. And then even when you do go out, everyone's on their phone. It's just like...
This dovetails in my next question, which is, because what happens now is for gay people to go out, to attend something, you have to create an event, which is what Peaches Christ has done with Midnight Mass at the Castro Theater in San Francisco for the past 10 years. Tell us about how that was created, and walk us through, for the people in the room who've never been to Midnight Mass, what that event is like.
Well, I was actually one of those early performers at Tranny Shack back in 1996, and that's actually where I got my start and met all my friends. And yeah, it was a wild time. It was real grungy drag. I mean, we didn't spend any money on our drag because we weren't really getting paid any money, and we just did it for the love of performing. I mean, at the time, it wasn't important to us to get paid. It really was more about having fun and really performing for other performers. And so after a few years, I started this show where I was celebrating my favorite cult movies because I'm a filmmaker, and I feel like a part of drag that I really identified with came from film because I fell in love with Frankenfurter and Divine, and that was my entrance into drag. And actually, I did look up to Jackie as well. I had a picture of her on the cover of Dragazine when I was a small child, and she was well into her career at that point. I looked at people, like...
It was kind of over for her, actually. It already peaked for her at that point.
I liked the classics back then. So yeah, I started this event that, celebrated cult movies and put one foot in front of the other, and 1 year turned into 2 years, and 2 years, became 5 years.
Full-length shows where you'll have musical,
really, really long shows.
What was the last one you did? It was
the last one was called Spice Racks. If you had told me, 20 years ago that actually they weren't even around then, they had just been born, but then I'd be doing a tribute to the Spice Girls, I would have said, fuck off. That's so
Right, like some of the
tired.
90s is now nostalgia.
You know what? I saw the movie and it was so joyously stupid and wonderful that I actually fell in love with the Spice Girls, you know? And thought it was right for a drag parody, so we did that recently.
Okay, this is a question for the whole panel. What do you think it is about the LGBT culture that makes us curators of like movies in the way that you are? Like these tributes, like it's not enough for us to appreciate Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. We all have to know that monologue about cerulean blue by her. Like, what do you think it is about our culture that makes us love that movie so much and wants to keep that culture going?
That first of all, gay people love a sassy. If you're sassy, they'll love it. That's why they love Aaron Brockovich, because of the line, all you got is two left feet and fucking ugly shoes. It's like a brilliant line. So you get to hear somebody read somebody like to filth and destroy their self-worth. You don't believe in yourself, now I believe in me.
Our drag queen is Aaron Brockovich. Applaud if you want to see that.
Aaron Brockovich. Black in everything.
Aaron Brockovich, that's your next production.
Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich.
How about Aaron Brockovich? Like, you know, on a social media.
Good one, Jackie.
I got these brand new Facebook jokes I've been working on.
I got news for you. Part of doing comedy is being fearless, and every once in a while that means you make a bad joke.
Snapchat jokes now, to be very correct.
You know what, Alec? I was just gonna say, because looking out at this audience, the connection that I make is really about queer people wanting to identify with something that's alternative and different and other. And so people come together to watch these movies to celebrate something transgressive, which actually I think is what the cult of Drag Race is. It's like, you know, you guys watch this TV show, dress up as this TV show because you like things that are fucked up and weird and different, and they speak to you specifically. You know, you want to celebrate what the rest of the world wants to shut down. And that, I think that's what it is, really.
And I think the love of cult movies and like, you know, you like saying, you know the entire speech from this or the scene of that, it's heightened. I don't want to fucking go to the mall and like, oh, listen, I love a real movie and like, you know, during the 70s when everything was all gritty and like real, but I prefer campy, heightened. Like, I don't want to hear the way people really talk to each other. If I want that, I'll go to a fucking coffee shop. I want to hear, like, catty, back and forth, bitchy, well-written fucking, you know...
Virginia Woolf, yeah.
Exactly. I'm saying, you know,
If you don't know what I'm talking about, do
Baby
your
Jane,
research.
Google it. Press the button, make it up.
That's why...
Figure it the fuck out.
When Jackie and I were growing up, roughly around the same time, there was no internet. We had to actually search for these gay touchstones, and now you have all this stuff at your fingertips. Look up whatever happened to Baby Jane. Look up all this stuff, and you'll know what we're talking about. What's the equivalent nowadays of these movies?
Well, let me tell you, the writer and director of Jawbreaker is right there. Speaking of really cunty, mean, outrageous dialogue, that movie is the meanest fucking movie ever. And I think queer people love it because it's women saying to each other, you know, eat shit. Just like Carrie, Jackie's favorite movie. Your favorite movie is Carrie, right?
My very favorite movie is Carrie. I saw it when I was very young. In the theater. And I love it because, first of all, it's fucking, you know, visually breathtaking. I mean, it was, and it's, you know, gorgeous and beep bop boop and doodly doo. But the message of that movie, don't fuck with the freak.
It's empowering when you see like a bitchy dialogue. It's like, oh god, I wish I could have said that in a moment. Oh, I wish I had telekinesis when I went to high school. Kill everybody.
What happened was I watched the show, I was inspired. I saw BB Zahara Benet on the show. I was like, ooh, she's serving this African drag fierceness. I was like, I can look and do this. I just remembered like some makeup class that I took in college and still haven't taken. And I just never picked it up. And then I went out and I had this like, you know, bangs, like down to here. Like before Sia was doing it, I was doing it. Bangs down to here. I was wearing like a potato sack with a cheetah prints on it and these boots, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking leave the house and slay these children. What makes drag so great is people, no matter how, it's not like seeing a guy with his nails painted. People just like seeing a guy with his nails, so you give him a compliment, even if it's chipped, even if it's cracked. So you like seeing Queen so much, you go, you look amazing. I did not look fucking, I looked horrible.
How long was it before you got on a stage and started performing?
Oh, that day.
That day. Okay, so talk us through that. And this is also a question for everybody on the panel. Talk us through your first experience of getting on stage and what that was like.
My first time ever was at the New York Comedy Club in New York City, and I did a bringer where you bring people to the show.
Right. Which club was it?
It was the New York Comedy Club.
All right.
And I was like, everyone, please come out and see me. I got everyone from my restaurant to come see me. They're like, you need to bring 12 people. I brought 35 people. And I had just moved to New York City, so that tells you how fucking obnoxious I can be. I bought all of them, and they each paid like $30 a piece, bought $40 in drinks. And at the end of the night, the promoter was like, here's $15, kid. Go buy yourself something pretty. And I bought this purse. But
You're such a rule breaker. Buy something pretty, and she bought that purse.
Anyways, I kept going back to comedy clubs. Then I found out that gay bars pay a little bit better, so I started doing gay bars instead. But I started in the comedy club.
What was the response? What was your act? What did you do?
Oh, I told a bunch of jokes about my mom and how she has an old lady name. Her name's Martha. I love it. All my aunts, my Aunt Hazel, my Aunt Felicia, my Aunt Deborah, my Aunt Martha. Slave names. If you're laughing, you're racist. By the way.
Those are the facts.
So I talk about being in New York City. Someone said your first comedy said just write about what you hate, everything you hate.
Because everybody hates something.
Exactly.
Especially in New York.
I hate how country my family is. I hate that blah blah blah. That when you get on an empty car in New York City, it smells like piss and bums. And then it fucking could be my first comedy set. And then cut to New York.
But your act is evolved now. It's not primarily stand-up. You do those great edited lip sync things where they're all on YouTube. If you've never seen Robin Drag Queen to the church lady from Life Swap. That's honey! Like it's
my personal favorite is I do Britney Spears' "I'm a Slave for You," and I ended it with Chris Rock's comedy about slavery. So I just love making white people uncomfortable.
Sasha, talk us through your first experience. Get all messed up.
My first actual performance was at Tranny Shack. Heklina has a Star Search, which is like a little pageant that she would have with a stud. And it was, again, on a Tuesday night at midnight. And I was just all through college thinking, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do that. And I did it. And I fucking was terrible. I lost, and I lost to this person, Pollo Del Mar, which made it even worse.
Please nobody film that.
And then I was like, back then when you first start, a lot of people say pageants. You have to do pageants, you have to do pageants. So then someone talked me into doing an imperial pageant, which was so not exactly thank you. So I did an imperial pageant in San Francisco, and they come to me and they're like, oh, where's your CD for your number? And I was basically like,
Number?
shut the fuck up.
You were like, number? Just stand there.
I basically did that. I was watching all the other competitors, and I was So I go ahead and I said, you know what, I'm not going to do the number, just give me a microphone. And they were just shocked, like a microphone. I get up there and I just basically read the entire Imperial Court. I read the stage, I read the venue, I just read every single thing in there, which is basically just being a mean bitch on stage. Got lots of laughs. I absolutely lost that as well.
She's been banned.
But then someone came up to me and they're like, girl, that is your thing. That's what you need to do. You don't need to dance, you don't need to... And when you do drag, you don't necessarily have to do a specific category. You can create your own category, which is what I think everyone up here has done.
I would agree.
And myself included, which is why, for Drag Queens of Comedy, I was a comedy queen, but I needed a platform to do, so I built a platform. And just like everyone here has done, they built their platform. So
Thank you.
that's it.
Well, my first time in drag actually was for a movie. I was making my senior thesis film, Jizz Mopper, a love story. And,
Definitely film a story.
yeah,
Premiering on the Hallmark Channel.
it's true. And so the administration at Penn State, they hated Jizz Mopper, and they hated me for making it. And then when I decided to do drag and be in the movie, they hated me even more. So that was where I made.
That's what you call a home
debut.
run.
Yeah. So I did. So I actually started drag by making movies and filming myself in drag, and actually back in the days when we were using film, they were made on 16mm film, and it wasn't until I got to San Francisco and started performing at Tranny Shack that I was, on stage.
So what was your act when you finally got up?
Well, I mean, at Tranny Shack, back then it was like you basically did, a lip sync, but instead of just getting up and impersonating whoever the singer was, you kind of reinterpreted it, and twisted it and made it your own. And so I was always obsessed with horror movies growing up, so I would go to the local hardware store and ask them to take the chain off their gassiest, stinkiest, loudest chainsaw and bring that into the stud and rev it up and come out and do, numbers where I was pulling guts and blood out of people and, all while, doing it to Madonna's Like a Prayer or something like that, whatever, I don't know. But, yeah, it was always, back then it was a lot of fire breathing and blood and, Heklina nightly rimmed people. That is true. That's not a lie. So it was really a different. I mean, there were times when the place almost burnt down. It was crazy.
All right, Heklina, on that note, that's your segue right there. Live rimming.
My first time doing drag was actually when I first moved to San Francisco. I moved there from Reykjavik, Iceland, and I entered something called the Miss Uranus pageant. Uranus was a club that happened once a month at the end of. We're going way back, and
the 70s.
Yeah, right, pretty much. And I sang a song in Icelandic, and I got really drunk and I blacked out and I woke up and my wig was missing and my heels were missing and everybody said how great I was. And I just kept doing it. Actually, I was so ashamed. I did stop drag for a little while. Shut up, Jackie. And but then I started doing it again years later, and that was really it. I had stage fright for a long time, and I cured that with alcohol. But now now it's iced tea or coffee. I just get
Don't you think that there was a kind of a brief era where drag did go away for a little bit? Like during the Bush administration. I felt like it went away from
I really remember the drag renaissance. So I moved back to America in '91 at the tail end of the Bush administration. I remember the renaissance very vividly with RuPaul the first time, when the Supermodel came out. There was the March on Washington. There was Delight. It felt like a renaissance of drag.
And then it shut down.
Then Clinton became president. Everybody became a little bit complacent. Then drag had a renaissance again with RuPaul. Fuck that bitch. First time with Supermodel. Second time with this TV show.
You can't kill it with a stick. All right.
Well, when I first moved to LA in the 80s, it was amazing. Melrose was amazing. It was all new wave and, hair metal bands, and it was just so fucking amazing. And the energy, and everyone was, an artist. But I remember I used to go in the early 90s, I was a serious poet.
Oh, got it.
And a serious artist. And everything was fucking serious. And, all I did was listen to the Smiths and cry. Seriously, so
I
used to go to this club that had an open mic night for poetry readings. And I would sign up, and it was, Robert Downey Jr. doing a poem about being so drunk that he was pissing in a potted plant in the corner.
That wasn't a poem, that was actually just him talking.
Yes, and Ali Sheedy, they never got to me. Week after week after week, I signed up for this fucking open mic poetry reading, and they never got to me. So one week I was like, I'm over this shit. These people take themselves way too fucking seriously. They never ever get to me. So I, all of a sudden, dressed up in full drag, but it was beatnik drag. It was black bob, a black beret, black boots, black everything, black turtleneck.
Black Bob, talking about you.
Are you trying to give us, are you giving us a signal? What is that? 10?
No,
You have 10 inches? Your dick is 10 inches long? Wow.
You guys, no big deal. It's just my life story.
Oh, tell us.
It's just drag history. You're welcome for paving the way. Anyway, so I went and I wrote a comedy routine in the guise of beat poetry. And I showed up, and they not only was I not allowed to read my poem, they wouldn't even let me in the fucking door. So I went to Rage, and it was open mic night there, like a talent competition. And I went up there, and they had a clipboard, and they were like, you know, sign up for the talent competition, what's your name? And I was like, what's my name? What's my name? And I was trying to think of the most 60s beatnik sounding name, so I said Jackie Beat. And I just wrote it down, and I went up there, and I fucking knocked it out. And I told everybody to snap their fingers instead of laughing, and that's it.
All right, somebody in a pink t-shirt is giving us the 10-minute warning. So I want to take like 3 or 4 questions from the audience. Raise your hands, I will pick you out. Step up to the microphone. Get up here, girl. Come up here, come up here. Don't be shy.
She looks shy.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Cass Smiley, and I'm a stand-up comic from Anchorage, Alaska.
Do you have a question for our panel today?
Absolutely. I would like to know, and any of you can answer, what's the worst time that you ever fucking bombed on stage?
Ooh, good question.
Jackie.
Just last night for Jackie, I think.
Facebook jokes.
Seriously? Seriously? It was in a clothing optional gay campground in fucking rural Georgia where they picked me up at the airport, put me in a white pedophile van, drove me for hours. I got ready in a fucking Motel 6, and then I got on stage and everyone was tweaking and everyone was naked in the show didn't work at all. They didn't realize that I sang live, and then it turned into Deliverance, but with gay people. It was horrible, and on the way back, they had to like cancel the show. It never really happened, and everybody was yelling at me, and I was like, eh. So then they were driving me back to the airport, and I said, well, you know, to be honest, I think we're both a little irresponsible. And the guy pulls over and slams on the brakes and says, one more word at you, and I'm gonna fucking throw you out of the van, and I'll leave you here. And I was like,
Listen, I apologize for that years ago.
that was the worst.
Still holding on to it. All right, anyway, bombing story. Anyone go?
Bombing story?
No, none of the
Oh, how great! They never bombed.
Just Jackie.
I can't think of any time I've ever bombed. Go ahead.
Last night?
I just did that joke, Jack.
I think with comedy, it's very important to know how to have a certain audience, meaning they should have seats. I just learned this when doing Drag Pizza Comedy in New York City. We went to the venue, we assumed it was a sit-down theater.
Uh-oh.
It was not. It was a standing room only
For a
theater.
7-hour show.
For a sit-down show. So imagine sitting and watching 15-minute sets from 9 different people and standing, and we're supposed to make you laugh. It was the most difficult night ever because it's not a show that is geared towards a nightclub review. It is a sit-down like this, sit-down type
Many
show.
chairs and booths.
Oh, so it was, everyone was struggling. It was a hard one.
All right, any other questions?
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. All right, come on up. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Skip, and I'm disappointed. I love you all, but I didn't see Lady Bunny, so my question is, what is the newest, most offensive, and nasty joke?
You want to see Lady Bunny? Look at her.
You want to hear Lady Bunny's jokes?
You're getting the stink eye from everybody on this panel.
A new joke.
Oh, all right. So Skip, actually, you know, my favorite Lady Bunny joke, because I mean, might as well, right? It's when she came, and this was back at Tranny Shack, when the audience was starting to turn. It was when the audience started to become sensitive. You know, when
You millennials, you can't say anything.
when the
to
young
fucking
people needed trigger warnings before a fucking show or whatever. And Lady Bunny showed up, and she came out. And I remember these women standing right in the front, kind of looking at her skeptically, right? And she goes, "How do you get a gay man to fuck a woman? You take a shit in your cunt."
Hold on.
Thought to myself,
Wait a minute. No. My favorite Lady Bunny joke, I can tell this one. What's worse than shoving 5 oysters up an 80-year-old woman's cunt? Sucking them back out and getting 6 oysters.
That happened like 10 years ago, buddy. Let it go.
I love me act like she's dead.
Lady Bunny in memoriam. I always felt safe when she was
She
around.
should be dead in about 10.
We're getting the signal from this
We
top
have time for one more question. Who wants anybody? Anybody? Bueller?
Shannon
Bueller?
Brown.
All right, get up here, get up here.
One of the chief.
Hot sauce in your purse.
Racist.
Hi. What's your name?
My name is Lisa, and I'm here from the Bay, and I want to ask all of you, what do you see or hope for the future of comedy and drag?
Great question to end the panel on. Go.
More money.
I truly hope that people start getting a sense of humor again and stop being so fucking politically correct. I mean, every day I just feel like, you can't say this, you can't say that, we don't like this word, you know what I mean? Get a fucking, yeah, that's it. Get over it.
And the thing is, I'm just saying, the more people do that, the more pushback there is. It's like, don't tell me what to fucking say and what not to say.
The funny thing about the thing that is taboo, it's only funny when you can poke at it and show it and reveal it. But when you can't talk about it or can't discuss it, it gets rid of all humor. So let's keep on being disgusting and politically correct.
I'm exactly in the same place. It's just sort of like, if you come to a show that we put on, you know, expect it to be irreverent and fucked up and offensive. That's what we do. Stop sending me goddamn emails. You know, like, I don't want them anymore. Don't buy a ticket. Don't fucking come. We are rude. That's the way we're supposed to be, okay? So that's my hope. And it's too much lately.
Sasha?
Yeah, it's I agree with all of them. It's basically you can come to a show, watch the first act all the way to the last act, and then have a complaint on each person, and then contact us and say, you know, I didn't like it. Well, after the first person, wouldn't you leave? But they stay through the whole thing. And you know, who I appreciate that's on the show with us is Willem, because Willem is bringing back the raunch. He wants to do it his way, design what he's going to do, and make it raunchy, and I appreciate that. And I want to see more of that. And anyone that is, like, aspires to be a drag queen, you don't have to do necessarily a niche or anything. You just find what makes you happy, and if comedy is it, go for it.
Last but not least, about the drag queen.
I'm really just looking forward to one thing, and if you look at history, it says this literally has to be the next thing coming: white slavery.
Alright, so it's time to say goodbye to DragCon.
2016.
Did you have a good time, Amy?
Yes, I did. I met hopefully the future winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, Bob the Drag Queen.
And we got to experience lots of cool panels like Drag is Punk with Henry Rollins. And so we're headed to our last panel.
Yes, the final Drag Queen Comedy with Bob and Peaches Christ.
So make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, please.